Hello, the internet. Welcome to the update 5 video for Prison Architect. But before we begin, um, a little. I saw you last night. We had dinner,
Yes, it was lovely.
and
It was very romantic.
you didn't mention that tomorrow
No.
is the 37th anniversary of the day that you were compiled.
Oh, that. Yes, that. That's true. It's my birthday tomorrow,
That's good.
and I will be 37.
I've got some more if you like them. I've written some down. Do
Okay.
you want them?
Yes.
Okay, let me. I've just got to bring them up on my phone, right?
Yeah.
When Chris Delay takes a shit, it involves slash dev null.
Nice. That's brilliant. Thanks for that,
Do
mate.
you like that one?
I'm just going to
Do
stop
like
you
that
right
one?
there. I think. I don't really want to hear the rest.
I got two more, right?
Okay.
I've got two more. See
Yep.
if they,
Yep.
they make you laugh, right?
I'm ready.
When Chris had children, he didn't have sex. He just pressed Control C, Control V. I'm on like
That's quite
a
funny.
2/3 hit rate.
Yeah.
One of the 2/3. You didn't like the last one. You're not gonna like the last one.
All
Last one's
right.
not very good.
Go on then.
But Chris Delay doesn't listen to the radio. He listens to 80211 slash E.
Thanks for that, mate.
That's good, isn't it?
That's
Do you
great.
like it?
That's brilliant, mate. That's the best intro you've ever done
That's good.
to the update 5 video.
That's good. That's good.
Actually, I've got to stop you right there because there's another anniversary that you forgot to mention.
I was going to mention it, but you be my guest.
Okay, today, I can't believe I'm saying this. Today is the 10th anniversary. 10 years ago today, you and I and Mr. Nottenbelt, Dr. Nottenbelt, I'm sorry, and Thomas Arundel stood on the stage at the IGF and accepted the award for Darwinia. 10 years ago today.
Wow. What were we doing in the day?
I can't remember. I think we were getting tuxedos fitted.
I can remember going and getting tuxedos fitted. Because it wasn't in San Francisco, was it? It was in Santa Monica or somewhere like
San
that.
Jose, I think.
San Jose, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the evening quite well though, but I just can't quite believe that was 10 years ago.
I know.
What the fuck have we been doing since?
Well, you did Subversion, mate, for...
Yeah, for 5 years, and then we did Prison Architect for 5 years. There you go. That's 10 years.
Now, so leading on from the IGF anniversary is our BAFTA nomination.
Yes, that's good news, isn't it?
That's fantastic.
Why don't you tell the listeners what happened?
Well, I will, because our American colleagues and non-British colleagues and, everyone else might not understand that BAFTA is kind of like the British Oscars.
Yeah.
So it's quite a prestigious affair in London with black ties and celebrity gamers and all sorts of things like that. So it's terribly exciting. And we've picked up 2 noms. That's what you call them. You call them a nom.
Noms.
And we've got a nom for Best British Game.
Yeah. That's nice. I like that one. That narrows the field substantially.
That's amazing. Best British Game. And we've got a nom for Best Persistent Game.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to nominate BAFTA for Worst Game Name Category.
Worst category name ever.
Worst category name.
Yeah, and the winner is
Persistent
BAFTA
game.
for Best Persistent Game.
I think persistent
What does that
game,
even mean?
Yeah, I think it means it's their attempt to.
It's like the school award for child that tried the hardest.
Yeah,
Is that what it means?
the game that keeps on coming back. It's their attempt to figure out like early access and constant updates.
Yeah.
So the old way of a game finishing and that being it, and now it gets its BAFTA, doesn't apply to games that just continually, enjoy updates and things.
Yeah.
So they created the best persistent game category.
Well, I know it's not actually early access specific, is it? Because there were games in there, there were other nominations, which are just other games that have had tremendous updates applied to them post V1.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again,
so whether we win or not might come down to the quality of this very video.
Well, they might not like it.
They might say, "Well, that update 5 was shit. You're not winning."
But I think we've won.
Do you?
But there are still some tickets for the BAFTAs, public tickets. I don't know whether the public have to go in dinner jackets or not, but you can find it on the Rezzed website because it's being held at Rezzed. Now, so on that note, we're going to be at Rezzed, so come and see us at 7th
Looking
of April
forward
in
to that.
Tobacco Talk in London in the UK. And we're going to be showing off some new stuff.
No!
Said it, mate.
No! You can't say that.
It's out there.
It's a secret.
It's out there.
It's a secret.
Yes.
You've
Yes.
just given away our secret.
Well, I haven't. I haven't given away this.
That's true.
Well,
What are we going to be doing
They
then?
don't know what the stuff is.
It's
though,
going to
do
be
they?
amazing, isn't it? It's going to be amazing. We've got 10 computers.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
going to be.
yeah.
We've got our own little room. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
We're showing off. What did you say? Did you say? What exact words did you use?
New stuff.
New stuff. All right.
New IP.
We'll leave it at that then.
Yeah. Yeah. Come and see us. Say hello.
Yeah.
Look at our new IP.
See our new stuff.
Now. Right. So, as well as all that happening, I have been doing much producing.
Okay. That is what you do. Is this one of those moments when you're going to tell us what you do?
Yeah. I've done much producing.
Okay. All right.
And Double 11 have launched Prison Architect
Yes.
on Xbox One Game Preview.
Yes.
We've not spoken about that in a video before.
They've done very
So
well.
that's live and it's doing nicely. So we're very happy with that. Microsoft are getting behind that. So that's wonderful news. So I'm going to claim credit for that. I produced that.
That's great. Yep. That's great.
I have a Skype chat open with those guys, and every now and again I type things in it. That's my producing. You see.
What the hell happened with Windows Vista? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've just destroyed our chances of any promotion.
destroyed
haven't I?
And I've also been furiously negotiating with our potential iPad publishing partner.
Yes, that's very interesting stuff, that isn't it?
Yeah,
People
exactly.
keep asking us what's happened to the iPad version.
I know,
And the Android version.
Yes, I feel the tablet build exactly. I feel the pressure, the weight of the internet bearing down on me.
Exactly.
And I'm trying to do my best
Wow.
to deliver something amazing. But there's only so much producing.
But it's
going to
come out, isn't it? I think that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
yeah, it's
important
gonna come
thing.
out.
It's not gone. We haven't
Yeah.
stopped or anything. It's just that we got a bit derailed by
But there was
trying to
there was
finish
some-
version 1 of
yeah,
Prison
and
Architect.
Wasn't there something going on in the States last week that
Some sort of show,
so that like slowed everything down
some
a bit?
sort of small trade show, I think, that
Yeah,
no one really knows about.
it's just some small collection.
GDP or something, was it?
Yeah, GDP,
Yeah.
something like that. Anyway, that was going on. So that slowed us down a little bit. Now, anyway, so moving on to everyone. We've lost the audience now.
Yeah,
They've
they're
gone
not
away.
listening. No.
They
No,
rock
they're
up.
listening fine because we're only 30 seconds into the video because I've just edited everything you just said out.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Right,
you might
right.
as well do
Hello,
the intro
everybody.
again. Hello, everybody. Straight to the game.
Welcome to the Update 5 Alpha video. Now, we had a look at the comments out of our last Update 4 video.
We often do.
Right?
I like to read I read the YouTube comments. We don't get so many Twitter messages generally unless there's a fault. I always read the Steam forums. I read our forums. We don't post very much anymore these days, but we always read it.
And I like to try and summarize all of it into like one voice.
Okay,
You know.
go ahead. Do the internet voice.
Well, but it changes, right?
Yeah.
But I'll do the internet voice for the last video,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And it went like this. It went. What the fuck is this? The fuck is this? Fuck is this shit? You come here on my daughter's wedding day. See, it's gone getting multiple gangsters.
All right,
You
yeah,
come
okay.
here on my daughter's wedding day, and you bring me this shit, this fucking temperature shit. Fucking game runs at 1 frame per second, and you bring me this shit. You disrespect me. You disrespect my family. That's one, right?
Right. Yeah.
And the other one, what's the name of that lad? The larger gentleman that went on the proper rant about
What are you talking
name?
about?
Cecil or something.
What are you...
Fucking Error 32.
Oh, that
Error
guy.
32.
Yeah, that guy.
Who was that?
Fucking Error 36. What the fuck is Error 1? Did somebody die?
He was very funny. Whoever he was, right? He's the other one going, 1 frame per second. Fucking 1 frame per second. Who has 1 frame per second?
Yeah, all right. Just give it a rest, all right? It's Performance is hard.
Fucking slower than 2001.
Performance is hard. I think it's not being helped by the fact that we've been showing video of the gorgeous Xbox version, right? Just running it like a million frames a second, basically. And then then we cut back to the our Mac build that we've been doing all our alpha videos with, and it's running at about 10.
So
yeah,
you know, the producer in me has to ask you, what have you done?
What have I done?
What have you done?
Well, I haven't done much on that, but Johnny's done an awful lot.
Good man.
In fact, it's actually gone. I mean, we're being a little bit facetious. I mean, it's actually last month we did quite a big experimental performance update, and it involved a fairly major change to the process behind the scenes, and we were worried that we would break the game for everyone.
What change did it make? What did you do?
Well, we switched compilers completely. We completely changed the tool chain behind the scenes. So we were using an older version of Dev Studio just for compatibility. We switched up to a new version of Visual Studio, and that alone was enough to worry us, because what always happens is you just lose a little bit of the oldest systems, you know.
Yeah.
And because we're post version 1, I mean pre version 1 we might have done it anyway, but post version 1, we really don't want to break the game for kind of the 10% that have very old laptops. So this month, that was released last month, but it was released on a sort of private, a sort of not particularly advertised branch called the Performance Test Branch.
Right.
So you had to do some Steam trickery to get access to it, and so we monitored that and saw how many problems we had, and we had no problems, which is very good news. So this month, that's now in the main trunk. Right, everyone gets that, and
how much did that? What sort of a difference?
That makes a pretty big difference, actually. That alone, I don't know what Microsoft have been doing with their magic sauce, but they've been making their compilers better and better.
Right.
At the same time as all of that, performance is basically a very long-term problem, right? To put it all in kind of, to set everyone's expectation, there isn't going to be any one change that we can make, like put this feature on another thread, that will actually radically alter the frame rate, because there's something like 55 simulation systems in Prison Architect, and every one of them accounts for a few milliseconds, right, per update. So if you radically optimize one of them and go completely nuts, your maximum gain is only a few milliseconds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you kind of have to do all of it. And so we've been gradually moving things onto what we call the render thread, which is a separate process that runs on a separate processor. So everyone has multi-core these days, so it's just going to be a lot quicker for doing that. And we're gradually moving more and more of the simulation processes onto that other thread. And so it takes it off the main CPU and offloads it into a background CPU. So a very good example is all these dudes here who are cooking dinner, right? Behind the scenes, there's a gigantic job search algorithm. These guys essentially say, what should I do next? And then this monolithic AI routine essentially looks at the entire map and says what you should be doing next, and normally resolves it by saying you should do some more cooking in the kitchen you're already in. Right? That's a local example, but another example that's much longer range is workmen who are hanging out in the yard, for example, and suddenly a load of new building materials get delivered at the front door.
Yeah.
And so they all get assigned various jobs to take it to various places. So all of that system has now been pushed onto another thread, and it runs concurrently with the rendering as well. It's quite clever, actually. So every frame, there's kind of a switcheroo, right? There's a simulation phase and then there's a rendering phase. Yep. And during the rendering phase, you can actually do a load of background simulation, ongoing simulation, whilst you're preparing all of your render buffers. So that's what we did.
Nice.
And so it's made a pretty big difference. I would be confident to say that it's 50% faster now in general as a result of those two changes.
That's good. That's good.
But it's a real black art. Performance enhancement, and I see a lot of people naively believe we can move the whole simulation onto another thread and be done with it. The reality is, as you know as a computer scientist, threading is bloody hard. Safe threading is bloody hard.
Absolutely.
And so if we just did that, you would see a corresponding sudden rise in crash bugs that you wouldn't quite be able to understand as multiple threads conflicted with each other trying to access the same data.
Become incredibly hard to debug, didn't they?
Yeah, so we're doing it carefully, but we have made big progress already, and we are going to continue, because I actually agree with the voice of the internet, which is that I actually don't want to be throwing huge new systems into the game whilst it has these performance problems hanging over
Sure,
it.
yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? The
Yeah.
internet are right.
Exactly. And I think because we're past version 1 now as well, and so I also don't think it's right for us to be throwing enormous systems in the game anymore, particularly when there are big problems like that. But I've definitely noticed a big improvement since Update 4, and then the switch that we did on the private branch from Update 3 was also a big improvement. So the combination of the two is excellent, and, well, people can let us know, I guess. We'll find out on YouTube, won't we?
Yeah, no, we will. We really will. But the work's ongoing as well.
Yeah.
Because we we care.
Yeah. Because we love
we've
you.
We've brought in another programmer to work on performance. How about that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. He hasn't. We haven't got anywhere with that yet, but next month we should start to see some benefits from that.
Yeah.
It's because it's such a big job. Johnny was just fainting at the list of possible work that we could do.
Yeah.
And obviously we try to prioritise it and think that's going to give us the best performance improvement, or that's not going to make much difference. But it's just an enormous list. Johnny could do performance for the next 12 months, basically, if we wanted him to. So we just had to bring some extra help in.
Yeah, just to move it along. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Nice.
Okay. So that was an interesting conversation, but I like to look at stuff.
You like to look at things.
Show me stuff.
All right, let's talk about some new stuff. All right, so that feature that you were bad-mouthing earlier, should we talk some more about that?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Now that's why I'm happy to take on the internet, because I like that feature.
Yeah.
A lot.
I think that it's the beginning of a nice feature. That's why.
And I think it's meaningful, right?
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Within the context of prison architecture, if we're going to get back to talking about some of the original goals, and trying in some ways to realistically, in inverted commas, simulate prisoners' behaviour.
Yeah.
The environment in which you build your prison, the climate, will have a massive impact.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
so
if you
we've made a step in that direction this month. We always like to turn things on their head slightly, and so last month it was all heating, right? Temperature and heating. This month it's temperature and heating as a weapon.
Right.
Temperature and heating as a controlling factor. I should probably explain that, shouldn't I? So we've introduced. So last month we introduced these radiators, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I can go
and
to
the temperature drops outside, didn't it?
Yeah,
and,
that's right. So if I put some radiators down here and here, and here, for example, and get my guys to build that, that's all going to be fine, because under the temperature system, you can see the only area of the prison that's actually even remotely warm is around the kitchen, where heat is bleeding out. But you might notice there's quite a few flashing red dots in this view now that weren't there previously.
I do notice flashing red dots.
So this begins with the fact that radiators previously were a bit magic. They just kind of worked. They didn't require electricity, and they didn't require water. All right, and I've never seen a radiator that was that clever.
No.
So this month we have these new water boilers.
Nice.
All right, so I'm just going to set up a bit of a test here, I think. So a water boiler is it's analogous to the sort of power station or the water pump station.
Yeah.
You could build them close together. It requires. I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to put it here. It requires a fat pipe of cold water, and it requires an electrical connection, right? Because it's an electrical hot water boiler. And it's essentially a new layer within the utilities. So we have our electrical cables.
Utility's been quite untouched, hasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
I know.
Right
I was
from the
thinking
start,
that.
not a lot really changed.
It went in dead early,
utilities.
didn't it? I think it was even in Alpha 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Water and electricity.
Yeah.
Maybe my memory's gotten confused. But we now have these lovely water boilers, and so you have the electrical layering and you have the water pipe layering, and then many months later we added your favourite layer, the wiring layer.
Yeah, wiring,
right? Yeah. Well, now we have the hot water pipe layer. Now the hot water pipes, you see these things here, they're a separate pipe layer. Right? They don't collide with cold water pipes.
Right.
So that you can't run pipes over each other, right? Under the pipe layer, there's only one layer. You can't have pipes that cross over each other.
Yeah, okay.
And nor would you ever want to, but with hot water pipes you can, because it's a separate layer. And so these are all showers, right? This particular prison has a shower in every single cell.
Wow.
Right? Which is like the root of luxury.
Yeah.
If you ask me. But there's now a cost for that, which is that they all need to have a hot water supply provided.
Okay.
So you can wire up a column like that. And your radiators are no longer for free either. The radiators also require hot water. Hot water pipes don't have infinite range. All right, there's a gradual temperature bleed in hot water pipes. So you can't have one boiler here and power your entire map.
Yeah.
So there's now, to some extent, a consequence for this kind of ridiculous luxury of having a shower in every single cell, because there's no central place, right? If you have a central shower like this, for example, this is just an arrangement of showers. That's dead easy to sort out.
Yeah.
But if you have showers everywhere, it's less easy. So radiators don't work until they have a hot water connection. Obviously, I mean, that just seems pretty obvious to me.
Is it binary? The showers just don't work.
No. So the showers will work with cold water supply. Right?
Yeah.
So all these showers that are flashing red, they still work. Do you remember I was saying earlier, heating as a weapon?
Yeah.
So cold water showers now creates a status effect on your prisoners, which we've called frigid. And what frigid, you can read into that as you wish. What frigid effectively is a short-term status effect that makes them it's kind of like being suppressed.
Right.
They kind of come out the shower going like, oh, and they're more suppressed. They're less likely to cause trouble. In the short term, it wears off fairly quickly, but having a cold shower is remarkably unpleasant. So, for example, if you wanted to make a cell block for the prisoners that you wanted to remain permanently under control, this happens with your most evil maximum security prisoners. You know, the hardcore guys?
Yep.
Often people just put armed guards everywhere. That's fine, that still works. Giving them cold showers is now a valid additional...
Has the same effect. Brilliant.
Has a similar effect, because it's
really good.
It's like, oh, you know. And when people load their prisoners from Update 4, they will have cold showers everywhere, because nobody's wired any of this new hot water piping in yet.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not hard to do. It's just an extra layer. It's harder to do on levels like this. Where you've got showers everywhere. And all the radiators that everyone probably put in for Update 4 need to be wired up now in order to work. You can see that radiator is now functional, but the other ones are not.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
I should mention, if they do have a cold shower, it also spikes their comfort and warmth needs. Right, warmth was a new one from last month, but they get spiked pretty badly when they have a cold shower. So although you get a short-term win by making them frigid as fuck, you get a bit of more of a long-term, wider prison impact, which is all your prisoners moaning about being cold.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's for players to experiment with and figure out whether it does that for them.
Brilliant. Well done, Gary.
Well done, Gary. Yeah. That's hot water pipes, I think. Shall we talk about a little secret that got out last month?
Nah.
Yes.
Nah.
Shall we?
It took the internet a long time.
I know. So it's not hard. I mean, honestly,
longer.
it's right here.
Okay.
How obvious do I have to make it?
Yeah.
It's been there since version 1. Should we actually show it?
Yeah, let's show it.
We should show it, shouldn't we? So basically, in any prison...
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. You go to extras, and then you click on this little pie symbol, right? You wait for a second, or 2, or 3, and then you have Prison Architect.
3D.
3D.
It does look brilliant.
I think it's fucking cool.
It just looks so good.
Yeah, it's such an engine hack, but I think it looks cool.
Every time I see it, it just looks brilliant.
It's really different, isn't it? It gives you such a different visualization of your prison. You know, this. I mean, up close, it doesn't really hold up to modern graphics standards.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think that's fair to say. I think the models are great. I love the models, but I think the overall presentation, the walls, the textures, the lighting, the lack of any conceivable skybox, you know, it looks pretty basic, but you can't get this view in Prison Architect, you know?
Yeah.
This 3D presentation. And so this has been there since version 1.
Was it version 1? You didn't show it to me in version 1.
It was there in version 1.
It was a few months after that I first saw 3D
I don't mean
mode.
Alpha 1, I mean version 1.
Oh, version 1, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
No, it wasn't in Alpha 1.
Yeah.
This was an experimental feature that I can't even remember when it was we did the work for. I mean, it was a year and a half ago or something.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. And we thought maybe we could do a 3D visualizer for the game, just to give you a different view. And we never really got it to the point where we were really happy with it.
Well, it was very tricky. I mean, part of our plan to try and get interest around PA at version 1 was to hit the world with a load of exciting new features that we'd not spoken about in any of the alpha videos, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because if we we hadn't wanted to just roll out another update for version 1, we needed to have something that the press were going to be able to cotton onto.
That's
to
right.
Kind of,
Yeah.
focus everyone's attention. And there were a few candidates for that. There was escape mode that obviously ultimately made it in and served its purpose well. But this was another one of those candidate kind of modes.
That's right. Yeah. Rather than it being like a new feature like hot water pipes or something, it was supposed to be something curveball, like something. It's almost like bait clicking, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
it's a little bit like something weird, something noticeable, like, oh my god, there's a 3D mode.
Incredibly visual. Very, very cool. But perhaps not from a playing perspective,
Cheat. Daytime again. We've updated it a bit this month. It's looking better than when people discovered it.
Yeah.
I should point that out. We've got quite a few new 3D shapes. We've worked on the walls a little bit. We've worked on the rendering path a little bit, so the general shapes are looking better. They've got a little bit more shader work going on now. The lighting's better, so when it's nighttime, you notice how the prism was properly reflecting the fact it was nighttime. It was darkened. All that stuff about that was all incorporating what were previously 2D shaders. For building, you can go to foundations and building, and you can. Oh, it seems you can't build. We must have broken it. There you go. I see my cursor's offline, isn't it? See, it's over there. Do you see?
Yeah.
My cursor's in the wrong place. There you go. Well spotted, mate. You found a bug.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's what's meant to happen. There you go. When you draw.
3D modes in alpha, everyone.
Yeah, I think that it's. I'm always a little bit torn. I don't want to invest tons of time in this mode.
Yeah.
I think it's a gimmick. It's a fun gimmick, and I think that we saw that in the videos of people discovering it. We saw people really enjoying the fact that they discovered something new, and a lot of people responding just like, yeah, right, it's a fake, that's a fake, and then being amazed when they ran Prison Architect on their own computer, the build that they've run for years and years, and clicked on this button that's been there for 6 months, and then their prison that they'd been building just turned 3D. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like there's been some visualizers. I always go out to Dwarf Fortress. Escape mode to me was analogous to Dwarf Fortress's what's it called? Adventurer mode.
Yeah.
It's the same world, but the simulation's different. And this is analogous to some of the 3D visualizers that people made for Dwarf Fortress, like Stone Sense. They were always external tools, and they gave you a really, really crude visualization. But it was amazing because it sort of made Dwarf Fortress look like Minecraft before Minecraft had been released. Because Dwarf Fortress is full 3D. You can build full 3D environments in it. So there you go. I built something. It was a little bit awkward. I don't think I'd want to actually play the game in this mode for ages. But as a visualization, it's awesome.
Exactly. A very cool visualization. Now, we spoke about this. Did you get very far in terms of enabling our magnificent community to help push this forward?
Some. So, if people are feeling adventurous, I mean, we're actually using a proper shader for the first time now. It wasn't the case last month. There's a shader rendering everything, which means all the shading on the characters, the light map inclusion, the little outlines, pencil outlines that are on everything. Using a shader rather than just straight up OpenGL. That shader is now obviously moddable, right? The shader is a file in the data directory, and just like you can release mods on the Steam Workshop, you could now create a completely new shader if you wanted to. So trivially, you could make the game run in black and white or something like that. Why the hell would you want to? Who knows? But every modern graphics trick, like screen space ambient occlusion, or shadow casting, or toon shading, or any modern graphic shader is a shader trick, basically. We're not going to spend months and months writing shaders for Prison Architect. I don't think that would be a sensible use of our time. But I know some people are complete nutcases and love doing that sort of thing. In addition to that, the models, we're gradually swapping the models out. So these are all new this month. All these ingredients, boxes of ingredients and stuff. They look cool, don't they? They're in the wrong place because they get a bad hint from the sprite system about where to be in the world.
Okay.
But we'll correct it gradually. We're working on it. These are new as well. I think these capacitors and stuff. It looks great seeing Ryan's sprites popped up into 3D. And we told John, our 3D artist, just make them look like 3D versions of Ryan's art. They should
Yeah.
have the same simple flat look. They should have a nice outline on, which we've done in the shader. They shouldn't be too elaborate. They shouldn't look like the real thing. Certainly not photoreal. That was never our aim. They were meant to look like simple, basic objects, just like the sprites do. It's a very crisp art style that Ryan's invented. But some of them are not modelled yet. But you can easily add 3D models, or you can change 3D models. You could change every one of these guys for Bart Simpson if you felt like it.
Yeah,
Just by swapping out the prisoner shape for Bart Simpson shape. You could bring all the Kerbal astronauts in if you were squad. Or, I don't know what you could do. The thing about modding is we never know what they can actually do, All we do is we connect it up internally so that you could make a mod. And then a month later, we're always jaws on the floor that people have done things.
That's what I want to see. I want to see all the different shader mods and stuff. Have a look at what people actually do.
Yeah. Yeah.
To make it look super cool.
Yeah. So there we go.
There we go. So is that everything for
That's
update
everything
5?
For update 5.
Everything
I
for
think
update 5.
think performance was our primary focus this month. I think that's probably fair to
it's
say.
also a short month.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
We're launching early this month, aren't we? I forgot.
Yeah, we've had a couple because it's Easter, you see.
Yeah.
So, all of us are going on well-deserved breaks with our families.
That's right.
So,
yeah, all of our kids have like 6 weeks holiday or something ridiculous, don't they?
So exactly. So usually we'd have an extra week. Wouldn't we? An extra sort of 7 days from now to have been doing stuff. So that's not going to happen. But we hope that you have enjoyed the update 5 alpha video. We will see you at the end of April.
Or at rest.
Yes, if you're in the UK.
We'll be showing our new shits.
Our new shizzle.
Great.
Go and buy the Xbox One version.
You just had to get that in there, didn't you?
That's good. Well,
you had
part
to get
of
that
producing is marketing, right? It's marketing. So I had to market. I did a bit of marketing there.
All right,
See?
I promise I won't edit that out by accident.
Bit of advertising.
All right, see you next month.
Bye-bye.